Hello, my name is George Myhall. This is the Office of Image Archaeology. This is my computer. It's a Dell 7920 workstation, and I'm going to show those that are interested how to edit the hiccups in celluloid film. That could be 8mm, Super 8mm, 16 or 35mm films. There are a lot of other ones, but those are the major formats that people will run up against when doing this. So what we have here is we have a situation where, if you watch, that's what I call a hiccup. And this is actually a 1974 NBC News special report on the impeachment proceedings of President Nixon. And when they recorded this, they recorded it with those hiccups in it. As you can see, the hiccups are not happening in either of the sprocket holes here. They're happening in the actual film itself. So, and it occurs both ways, but this is the worst I've ever seen, and it's the only one like this I've ever run up against. But so that's why I just had to show this particular sample. But you'll have the same problem with, if it's got sprocket holes, it has this ability, depending on the equipment that you've used to digitize the film. There are pieces of equipment out there that allow for this, that repair this as the film is being digitized. I don't own one of those, and there are far more people that don't own one of those than that do own one of those. Those are very high and very expensive pieces of equipment, and most of us that do this can't afford it. So we are relegated to digitizing with the mistakes and then repairing them, editing them out through an editor like Adobe Premiere. This is what I use. I use the Adobe Cloud, which gives me Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, Adobe Audition, all of them. And those are the four main. In fact, those are the only ones I actually use. I wish they'd come out with a price tag for just those four. That would sure help me out a lot. At any rate, so what I'm going to do first we're going to go to one of these hiccups. Yeah, there we go. Right off the bat, and we're going to go over here to export frame, this little camera icon here, and you want to find delegate that to a spot. I put mine in a place called still shots, and then I eventually I come in and I empty that out because I'll wind up with one hell of a lot of still shots. I can't even tell you. Has to be up in the 10,000s of still shots I used for this over the last 9 months or so, because that's about how long it took me to repair this film. And even then I made a mistake, because rather than coming in and using stabilized motion, I used warp stabilizer. I'll show you all that in a few minutes as well. I used warp stabilizer, which did not give me the result that I expected. So I've got to go back, and eventually I'll do it again when I feel like I want to waste some time, because there's not that many people out there that's going to be interested in watching this. But it's a historical piece of film, so I'll fix it. At any rate, okay, so we got. We have a place to put it. We're going to use the TIFF format. It gives you several different formats to use. I use JPEG when I'm uploading a screenshot to the internet, especially for a YouTube thumbnail. I'll use JPEG. Other than that, I use the TIFF. Oh, here. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a screenshot of that, and we'll go down here in the screenshot, because we have marked import to project. It has imported it into the project. So we're going to take that and we're going to put it up here, and we're going to go, oh my goodness, that is just too long. So because all I need out of this is that much right there. I need that. That's all I need. This one little area. Now I've got all this to deal with, so I have to take and go through all the motions to get rid of that. And then I'll take this. Let's see what we got here. It's going to be right there. And then we're going to go because, and see, let me explain first. I took the screenshot here, but I actually placed my image right here, and the reason is because you're taking a screenshot. This image is not affected right here. This frame is not affected. It's this frame that is affected. So then we go, more, there we go, and let's take another screenshot. I'll put it up there and go, geez, again, I've got to get rid of that. So let's go ahead and get rid of that and clear. And now we have a repaired section of film. There's no more hiccup. Okay, rather than going through all that crap there, let's go ahead and go to the next one. I'll show you what okay. So instead, now we're going to come up here to edit, and then down to preferences, and then over to timeline. And you're going to change still image default duration. You're going to change that to frames instead of seconds. Now, I've tried over and over again to get this to go to 1 the first time around, and it won't do it. So it switched to 2 right there. So we're going to go back in, and we're going to do it again. So we're going to preferences, timeline, and see it says 2. It says 2 frames. So we want to say 1 frame. And I'll click there, and now I have 1 frame. And you say OK. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. You got the hiccup right there. I'm going to take a picture of it on TIFF, import into project, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it, I'm going to skip a frame and put it right there. And now I don't have that long tail to take care of, so I can get rid of the cut mark. And then I have another one to take care of. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking capturing one image before the damage, one image after the damage, because that way I'm splitting the damage equally between 2 different frames. Sometimes you get where the damage covers 3 frames, in which case you'll take 2 of these and 1 of these, or 2 of those and 1 of those. It doesn't matter, whichever way it goes. Go again. We're going to capture. And we're using the TIFF format, and we're importing into project. And we pull it up, we skip 1 frame, and we capture, and stick it on the timeline. I'm going to go ahead and do that a few more times here real quick. Oh, this one might be a 3-framer right here. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, so this is actually, so this is 3 frames. So you take a picture of you have to go after the damage. Remember that, the next frame after the damage, and you see there's 1 missing, so we have to fill it in. But that fixes it. Go to the next hiccup. And again, I want to stress that this can be the hiccups involved in this situation that I have here, which is very rare, or versus the hiccup that you have using sprocket holes. Your sprocket hole hiccup, basically, is what I call it. But looks like we hit another 3-holer here. No, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Okay, let's remove that one. Let's go ahead and grab another screenshot. I guess that goes there. Okay, yeah, it's okay. And we repaired it. So that is so instead of having that, now we have that. You can still see it up here, but that's not going to be in your final product when you take and I'll do it this way. Actually, that's not going to work yet. I'm going to take this And we're going to cut this little section out so I can show you why that's not going to be a problem. We're going to render this out. And we'll call it test. Oh. Export takes all of just a second or two here. Okay. Videos. Oh. There we go. Now we got sound back. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, so that. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Okay, so this is why you're not going to worry about this up here, is because you're going to adjust this, and this is where I made my, well, it's almost where I made my mistake. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Franklin Delano. Still have a little bit of that problem up at the top, but it's watchable. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Okay, so I'm going to back that up for a minute. Okay, then we're going to go to After Effects. Okay, I had a little hiccup there, got it straightened out. So we've got, we're set up to go to Adobe After Effects. We're here at Adobe After Effects. When you first arrive, you're not going to have the tools that you need on this side over here. What I do is I go to Window, Workspace, and then I go down to Motion Tracking, and that gives me what I want over here. And that gives me either Warp Stabilizer or Stabilize Motion. Both of those are very effective under certain circumstances. I use Warp Stabilizer when there is no movement whatsoever. Well, when there's very limited amount of movement, which is good for here. So you just click that, and it analyzes in the background. And this is a short piece of film, so it won't take very long. Stabilizing, and it's done. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go over here now, and we'll say save. It's saved. We go back to Premiere. Now we have a very stable piece of film. When you make it fit. So Franklin Delano Roosevelt. That's a nice piece of film there. Nice and clean. Now, this is the mistake that I made. I used that for the entire film. I got lazy and I blew it. So we're going to go undo there. Let's go back. Several undos till we get to that. Okay, so and then we'll undo also the well, yeah, okay. Now we're going to go back, and we're going to go back to Adobe After Effects again. This time we're going to use Stabilize Motion. And all you do is you take and adjust your bounding boxes, just so. And I come up here and I go on the very edge. If you go on a straight line, this is going to follow that straight line up and down. It'll go ahead and move up and down. You don't want it to move. You want to find a place where high contrast area, where, like in this situation right here, it doesn't go around corners. It'll go side to side, or it'll go up and down. When it catches a little blip or whatever. So we're going to say, okay, and you can see now it's moving around. All the movements and stuff, this is capturing all those movements. And the little gray box there. You go over to Apply, and that's X and Y dimensions. And then you go to Save. Now you go back to Premiere. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. You're going to have the same thing you had before, but it's not all encompassing. It doesn't grab everything and do that to everything. And the reason I'm pointing that out. So you still have the...
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
It's very watchable.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
The problem that I had with the other is this. It grabbed too much because it'll center the film in the center of, automatically in the center of whatever's the best part of the film. And so, and I could have, there's a check mark to keep that from happening, and I didn't do that, which would have saved me the hassles of going back and redoing this. But I'm missing part of his head, where I wouldn't be otherwise. Right there, that's what it should be. Anyway, so that's what we're doing here with 16mm, 8mm, Super 8mm, and 35mm films on the capture hiccup thing. So if you want to, turn out a nice film instead of having the issues that we have with, if I can find that piece. Yeah, I think that's it there. Yeah, that's the beginning of it. But I know you've already seen it again, but that's freaking annoying. I can't watch that. So, if this has helped you out, please subscribe, leave a like, and I could always use a cup of coffee if you've got a little spare change there. And I'll see you in the next one. You guys take care. Bye-bye.